Back to Same Right Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew this beautiful flared dress with front strip and shoulder pad, as you can see right there on the thumbnail. Okay, so I'll be sharing with you the tips and tricks to sewing this beautiful high load flared dress. So the back is lower or higher, sorry, and the front is lower as well. So it has a shoulder pad, as you can see. So if this is what you want to learn in this class, I will encourage you to stay till the end of this tutorial to learn how this beautiful dress was cut and sewn. Thank you very much for subscribing to this channel, and we share beautiful tutorials on this channel every day. So I implore you to turn on your notification bell so you'll be able to get these videos all the time. Thank you. To start off this tutorial, I'll be using 4 yards of Ankara. So these 4 yards of Ankara, I'm going to divide it into 2. So the 4 yards, this is it. So I'll just split it into 2 right now. So I'll just go ahead and cut it off to 2 yards. So I'm sharing it at 2 yards. So I'll just go ahead and cut and separate it to 2 yards, so that we'll be using the front and the back, the 2 yards for one side and the other for the other. So this is what I've shared it 2 yards, 2 yards. So I'm going to make use of one for the back and this other for the front. So we are going to draft the back pattern first. So to draft the back pattern, this is my 2 yards right now. So I'll place the 2 yards on fold. So if I place it on fold, if you place the 2 yards on fold, you'll be having 1 yard from this end to this end. Will give you 36 inches. So a yard is at 36 inches. So I just measure from here. You can see I have 36 inches. So this part is on fold. So we are drafting the back. So to draft the back, the first thing we are going to do is we are going to place our tape at this edge, because it's a 180 degrees flay we are cutting for the back. So just go ahead and place your tape at this edge, and we are going to, so at this edge I'm going to place my tape, and I'm going to measure. I'm going to take the whole length of this Ankara, which is at 45. So I'll just take the length at 45. I'll keep coming at 45. I'll keep marking it at 45, the way you mark out your flay. So I'll be connecting it at 45, placing my tape at the tip here to rotate it. I'll rotate it from here. I'll mark it up to my 45. I'll also place my tape right here and mark up to 45. I'll take this 45 wherever it terminates at this edge, like this. Wherever the 45 terminates, I will stop it at that point. I believe you see what I did. So I just mark it and terminate it up to that point. Can you see that? So that is how my circle is going to be. So after marking the circle, we'll come back here and we are going to mark the neckline for the back. So the neckline width depth will come on the folded edge. I'm using 1 inch for it. And the neckline width, I'm using 3 inches for it, or let me use 2.5 inches. So I'll connect 2.5 inches to my 1 inch. Okay, 2.5 to my 1 inch. So after that, I'll place my tape here. I'm going to measure my shoulder. My shoulder measurement is at 9 inches. I'll mark from that 8 inches. My shoulder divided by 2 is 16. Divided by 2 is 8 inches. So from here, measure 8 inches. And from the shoulder, you are going to measure the sleeve length at 8 inches. From that 8 inches, you are going to measure your sleeve opening. So the opening of this sleeve, at that point of my 8 inches is my bicep. So if I place my tape here, I have 15 inches. So that 15 inches, I'll give an ease of 1 inch. Divide by 2 will give me 8 inches. So I'll just place my tape and mark another 8 inches. So once I've marked my 8 inches right there, you can see the 8 inches. The first one is for the shoulder. The second one is for the sleeve, before the sleeve will now open. So here is my sleeve opening. So at this sleeve opening, I'll just go ahead and divide it into 2, come in by 1/2 inch from that point, come in by 1/2 inch, and make a little curve, just a semi curve, just a little semi curve. So after that is done, at this point, we are going to mark this point. You can see I've made my my sleeve line. Okay, so this is my sleeve, and here is where the sleeve will stop. If you remember, like a normal flare, we took all of this at 46 inches till we got to the opening on the sleeve. So now you place your tape, like your ruler, straight, and create a mark that is pointing towards this part, like this. Can you see that? So that is how we are going to stitch it. So when stitching the both sides, we are going to stitch it on this part. Okay, so now the next we are going to do is to cut. So I'll go ahead and cut what I have on the neckline. So I'll only cut here my neckline for the back. I'll only cut it at 2.5. Then I'm going to cut my sleeve opening. So I just added 1/2 inch for the stitching. Then I'll now cut this part that is connected to this part like this. Can you see that? Then after that, you go ahead and cut the flare part of it. Alright, so I'm going to show you what this part looks like right now before we proceed to the... So this is what your pattern is going to look like now. So I believe you saw how we cut it. So the next we want to do now is to cut. We are going to use this pattern to cut exactly the front piece. So now we want to cut out the front piece. So for the front piece, you also come back with your 2 yards, the other 2 remaining yards. This is it. So we are going to come back with it like this. So once you come back with it, the next you are going to do is to place what we have for the front. So I'm sorry I lost my video clip. I've already cut out this part and I want to show you what I did. So remember, this was the part we cut out, which is the back, if you remember this neckline. So what I did is the remaining 2 yards, I just simply placed it on top of it like this, the remaining 2 yards of fabric. So I placed it on top of it like this. So just follow what I'm doing right here, because I actually lost my video clip. I'm sorry about that. So I've already cut out before I noticed that it was not my camera was not filming. So now this is the folded part of the other 2 yards. So the first thing you are going to do is just go ahead and measure the length you want your front to be. So for me, I want the length just exactly the same thing we did at the back. For me, I measured my own length at, I went round it at 41 inches. Okay, so I just took it round at 41 inches. I took it all around at 41 inches. Okay, then after that, the next thing I did was to cut that 41 inches. So remember that this was, the back was at 46, but I now cut the front at 41. So just the same thing I did for the back, that is what you are going to do. So you can see I place it on top. But once I got to this point, I shaping it a little bit. Just at this point, as you can see, I made a notch. So from the upper part, I measured from that sleeve part for all of them, just measure 21 inches. And at that 21 inches, you create your notch. This is what I did. I created my notch. And from there, just shaping it into the 41 inches. I believe you understand. Like I said, I lost my video clip, but if you follow this instruction, you'll understand what I did. So from here, you are going to measure, after you have cut exactly the same shape, just measure 21 inches. After you have taken from here 41 inches to the length you desire, you can be 41, it can be 40, it can be 39, depending on how you desire it. So once you are done, measure 21 inches and do what? Shaping it into the 41 inches. Then cut it out. So if you see, it's a high-low. So look at it, it's a high-low. So after that is done, that is for the front. The back is longer than the front. The front is at 46 and the back flare is at 41. Next thing I did was to cut out the center front. Okay, so you can see I've already cut it out, but this is what I did. At least we are all familiar, many of us are familiar with the strip cutting. So what I did was, from that center front, I measured my neck width at 2.5, and from that center front I measured my neck depth at 9 inches. I mark. Then from that center front I started to mark 1 inch, 1 inch, and I ruled a straight line to the end of the dress at 1 inch. Okay, so I had it at 1 inch. As you can see, I've already cut it out, but that was what I did. So I now went ahead and cut. Once I got here, I ruled my line to the neckline of 2.5. So I cut it from the 2.5 to 9 inches, and I kept my ruler straight and cut 1 inch till I get to the hem of it. So I took it away like this. So that was what I did. So now the next I'm going to do, I'm going to take off the front, because the front is 2 pieces, it has a strip. So I'm going to open up the front like this. The back, this is the back, and I'm going to place the front. So the part I opened up now for the strip is going to be sewn from this point to the end. So once I'm going to sew, I will sew 1/2 inch and stop at the sleeve opening, and I'll continue from the sleeve opening to the where I have the 21 inches notch. So that is where my closing will stop. After that, I'm going to come in with this, the front piece of it as well. So I'm going to place the front piece like this way, and stitch close and remain this. So here is going to be the center front, center back for our strip. So I'll go to the machine now, stitch to this end and stitch close to the 21 inches point. Then I'll stop. I'll do the same on the other. So I just want to demonstrate with this 2 pieces of paper what I did on the part of my video clip that I lost. So here is the 2 yards of Ankara for the back, and here is the 2 yards Ankara which I cut for the front. So now we've already cut, let me take off the front. We've already cut out the back. If you remember, we've already cut it out. So what I did was the yardage part, this is the 2 yards, the long part is the 2 yards part, and this length is the 45 inches Ankara length. So this 45 inches, these 2 yards now, I folded it like this to make 1 yard. If you remember, at the beginning of this tutorial, I folded it like this to make 1 yard. Then I now came with my tape and placed my tape and measured 46 inches all around. So I just measured it till I got to the point of this edge. So you remember this part. Now later I have to mark out the neckline. This is the back neckline. I marked it out. The 2.5 inch by 1 inch neckline. So I measured my shoulder from here at 8 inches. I measured my sleeve at 8 inches, and I measured the sleeve opening at 8 inches. After which I got the midpoint of this and I connected my sleeve opening. I believe you are familiar with that point. So I now place my ruler from this point to the point I stopped my measurement of the 46 inches. So I just go ahead and cut it out like this, and then I cut it out like this. That is for the back. I cut the neckline and I cut out the arm, the sleeve line like this. So here you can see I've cut out the back. So here is my back piece. So I'll come back with this. And I'm going to also fold it. So that was where my video stopped. So if you fold it, you bring in this part and place it exactly the way it is. Then you are going to mark out, or let me just cut it out. You are cutting it out exactly. Then you won't cut the neckline. Just go ahead and cut the sleeve line and cut the side of it. So both of them will now be the same at the end of the day. So we did not cut the neckline because the neckline is different. So I will take off the back now, and I'm going to take my measurement again. So this time around, the front measurement is going to reduce. I'm going to reduce it. Instead of at that 46 inches, I'm going to take it at 41 inches. It's high low. So I'll place my tape and measure 41 inches. So wherever it stops, I will stop. So now you are going to cut the front, reduce it as you wish. So when I bring the front and the back and place it together, you can see what I have here. The front is shorter. So after that, the next thing we are going to do, you place your tape at this point and measure 21 inches. So this 21 inches, from there we are going to taper this way and lift up that 21 inches. In fact, that is where I had that notch. At that 21 inches, I have a notch as it for front and back. So that by the time I take this one off, I'm going to taper this into this like this. So from there, I'll just curve the back. So the back becomes longer, and from there, I just curve the front as well. So I'm going to join this dress. I'm going to join it at that 21 inches straight. Okay, that was what I was explaining. So back to the front again. This is the front. So the neckline we measured from the center front 2.5. Depth is 9 inches. So from that 9 inches I measured 9 inches and 2.5. I started measuring 1 inch. So that 1 inch I rule a line to here and then made a V line. Of course you are familiar with the strip line, so I went ahead and cut it off like this, as you can see. So here we have 2 pieces of it like this for the front strip, and when you open the back too, this is what you are going to have. So what I went ahead to do now is to join the shoulder line, join it, and then bring this together. When you bring them together like this, you are going to join to the point of 21 inches, the same and the neckline, before we sew our strip. So if you see here, you can see it is high load. So that was what I was trying to explain. So here you can see I've joined the neckline. I've joined from here and I left the sleeve opening. Then from here I also close it up to that 21 inches line. So I did the same thing this way. I also joined from the neckline to that point and I closed up to the 21 inches line. So the next thing, this is the strip part. So you are going to match the shoulder together like this, and this is the neckline for the back. So we are going to take the measurement of our strip. So the measurement of our strip is what we are going to take now. So I'm going to arrange it very well, so I'll be able to take the measurement. So I'll just arrange it and I'll take my measurement right away. So from here, from the hem, I'm going to measure all the way like this to the shoulder seam to the center back. Here I have 44 inches, so I'm going to cut my strip at 47. Just add 3 inches to it. So here is my strip. So I have my strip on fold right here. So at this point of my fold, I have 2 of it here. So it measures 47 inches, as you remember, 47 inches. So this is on fold. So from here you should measure the 47 inches we have on fold. So you can go ahead and hairstay your strip. That is if you want to hairstay. The width of my strip is 4 inches. My width is 4 inches. Your strip should be at 4 inches, unless you want to make it a little bit bolder. So after that, you can see the joining at the center back. I joined it because I don't have a very long strip to work with. So I'm going to fold it on that joint part. Fold it at that center joint part. Spread it across like this. I also made a crease line to it as well. So here you are going to take the measurement of your neckline. So for my neckline, I'm going to measure from the joint part of my strip. I'll place my tape here and I'm going to measure 14 inches and I'll mark. So at this 14 inches, you can see my crease line. So you place the 4 inches like this till you get to the end of it. Of course, I know many of us are familiar with this strip sewing. So I'll go over to my machine now. As it is like this, I'm going to sew at the center. I'm going to sew the center of it till I get to the end of the strip. So I will stitch right now and I'll come back to show you what next to do. So after sewing the center of the strip, you are going to flip it this way. You are going to flip it this way, okay, like this. So this is the neckline of the strip, and here is the strip itself. Can you see that? So I'll just give it a good press so it relaxes nice and flat for me. So here is the center of the strip. So I will go ahead and bring in the dress. So here is my dress. I'll come over here. So make sure you create a notch on your center back. So since I did not do that, I'm going to pick up the seam lines together like this. I'm going to pick them together like this, and get the center back. So here is my center back. I'm going to create a notch to that. Then I'll come in with my strip right now. This is the right side. I'm going to place my strip on it like this. So I'm going to place it like this, and I'll stitch from one end to the other, from the other end to the other as well. So let me do that. So here you can see I'm done attaching my strip. Okay, so after sewing the strip, this is what it is going to look like at the end of the day. So here is the neckline opening, and here is the strip. So you can see the down part is longer than the front piece, so you can just go ahead and hem this part. So here is what we have on the part that we stop stitching. So we stop stitching at this point, and what we have here is the sleeve area. If you remember, this is where we are going to attach our shoulder part. We are going to attach our shoulder part at this part. So I'll just go ahead and use my machine and trim off, just run a stitch around to finish up the sleeve area. I'll repeat the same the other way. Then I'm going to also hem this other piece. So like I said, you can make this a little bit shorter, you can make this a little bit longer. It's all by choice. So the next we are going to attach now is the shoulder pad. So we are going to attach our shoulder pad now. So for the shoulder pad, you are going to cover your shoulder pad like this. So I've already covered mine, as you can see. So I'm going to, for the shoulder pad right now, you know we already have from the neckline 3 inches. So just place your tape at 3 inches on the neckline, and then measure your shoulder, divide by 2. So mine is 8 inches. So at that 8 inches, I'll now bring in my shoulder pad. So I'm going to tack my shoulder pad at that 8 inches. I'll tack it at this point on the seam line, and I'll also tack it on the other point. So you can also make a stitch on the seam line with the shoulder pad to secure it. You can also put it on your bra and wear the dress. Anyhow you want can work for you. So this is how we come to the end of this tutorial. I believe this class was helpful to you. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. See you in the next one.